I'm going to share with you in a moment 3 words that when they go together, now these words are not theological terms. They are words you find in the Bible. They all start with the same letter. I'm using the biblical definitions when I'm using these words to explain the nature of salvation. They don't explain everything, but they give you a really good understanding of the nature of salvation and our relationship with God. But what has happened between now and when the Bible was written is false doctrine has influenced what the church has taught. And you had the development of the Catholic Church with the corruption to the point where people didn't even want to be Catholic any longer. After the church was established and the New Testament was completed, false teachers continued to preach. There had always been false teachers, and these false teachers are prophesied about in the New Testament, about what would come. And we see that it did occur, and to the point that you have a full-blown Catholic Church in 606 AD with the first Pope, Boniface III. So that marks the full organization of the Catholic Church. In the 1500s, people revolted against things that the Catholic Church was teaching. They did not like the sale of indulgences, the doctrine of supererogation, which is something that we could talk about another time. But the idea was that there is no works for us to do today. So 500 years later, you have this big divide in Judeo-Christian churches. There's Catholicism that says there are works for you to do. You need to do what we're telling you to do. And then there's basically everybody else who has, there's 45,000 churches, so it's pretty convoluted. But generally speaking, they are reacting to Catholicism and saying, no, there's nothing for us to do. And that's the basic difference. Something to do, nothing to do. And notice how it is a reaction to Catholicism rather than going to the Bible and saying, I want to be a New Testament Christian and do what this book says. What people tend to do is react against something that they don't like. For example, I was driving through a small town back before it was illegal to talk on your phone while you're driving, and I saw a sign of a church building that was being relocated, and it had 4 words to describe the name of the church. And I don't know what it was. I couldn't remember. They were all multisyllabic words, great big name. But I could remember the phone number.